Professor Parmud Kumar, good morning. How are you, Professor?
Good morning, everyone. Ji. Thank you very much. Hope everything
welcome.
is fine with you.
Yes, Professor. Welcome, Professor.
Good.
Our chairperson is coming, Professor. We can start the program once he comes.
No problem.
எக்கோ வருது. Professor Parmud? இதுல தெரியுமில்லப்பா? இல்ல இதுல இருந்தா அது தெரியும். ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணிடுவோம் சார். அவர் வந்துட்டாரு. முனிராஜ் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ண சொல்லுங்க.
Okay.
Professor, can we start now? Parmud Kumar sir?
I think we should.
Good morning, one and all gathered here. Honorable Vice Chancellor, respected Registrar, faculty members and participants. Good morning, one and all gathered here. This is Department of English, School of Humanities, Tamil Nadu Open University, Chennai. I am happy welcome to all today national webinar on glittering opportunity for English literature graduate. I request every one of you rise for invocation. Now I would like to call upon Dr. R. Mahendran, Director in Charge, School of Humanities, Tamil Nadu Open University, to propose welcome address.
Good morning to every one of you gathered here. Most Honorable Vice Chancellor of Tamil Nadu Open University, the respected and distinguished Chief Guest today's webinar, Professor Parmud Kumar Megra from Indira Gandhi National Open University, New Delhi, respected Chairperson of School of Indian and Foreign Languages, Tamil Nadu Open University, Professor S. Balasubramanian, my dear research scholar, Mr. G. Muniraj, who is going to propose vote of thanks in this webinar, and my dear participants and students of Tamil Nadu Open University and other university. I deem it a great privilege to extend a hearty welcome to every one of you gathered here. Professor Parmud Kumar is an eminent teacher in English literature. He has vast experience in the field of teaching and research, and especially in open and distance learning. First of all, I would like to extend my heartfelt welcome you, sir. Next, our Honorable Vice Chancellor is engaged with the other works. I expect he would join in the middle of the program. I welcome the Honorable Vice Chancellor of Tamil Nadu Open University. Professor Balasubramanian is an eminent Tamil writer. He wrote many novels, and he has distinguished journalistic knowledge in all the fields of Tamil journalism. Now he is the chairperson of the School of Indian and Foreign Languages in Tamil Nadu Open University. I welcome you. Now Mr. Muniraj, who is doing his research under my guidance, he is a very innovative researcher. He is an active researcher in the field of Indian written English. I welcome you, my dear scholar, and welcome you all the participants who have joined in this program. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. I request Professor Balasubramanian, Chairperson, Indian and Foreign Language, to deliver the inaugural address.
அனைவருக்கும் இனிய காலை வணக்கம். ஆங்கில இலக்கியம் படிக்க வேண்டும் என்ற ஆர்வத்தின் காரணமாகவும், ஆங்கில இலக்கியத்தை பற்றி அறிந்து கொள்ள வேண்டும் என்ற ஆர்வத்தின் மிகுதியின் காரணமாகவும், ஆங்கில இலக்கியம் குறித்து பொதுவான அறிதல் புரிதலை தெரிந்து கொள்ள வேண்டும் என்ற காரணத்திற்காகவும் நம்மளோடு இணைந்திருக்கின்ற உங்கள் அத்துணை பேருக்கும் முதற்கண் என் பணிவான வணக்கத்தை தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கின்றேன். இந்த நல்ல நிகழ்வில் உங்களோடு கலந்து கொண்டு ஒரு சில கருத்துக்களை பகிர்ந்து கொள்வதற்கு நல்ல வாய்ப்பை வழங்கிய மாண்புமிகு எங்கள் துணைவேந்தர் பேராசிரியர் ஓ பார்த்தசாரதி ஐயா அவர்களுக்கும், ஸ்கூல் ஆஃப் ஹியூமானிட்டிஸினுடைய இயக்குனர் மரியாதைக்குரிய நண்பர் டாக்டர் மகேந்திரன் அவர்களுக்கும், உங்கள் அத்துணை பேருக்கும் என்னுடைய முதற்கண் வணக்கத்தை தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கின்றேன். இந்த நாள் நம்மளோடு இணைந்து ஆங்கில இலக்கியத்தினுடைய எதிர்காலம் மட்டுமல்ல, அது குறித்த அதனுடைய தன்மைகள் குறித்த படிப்பு சார்ந்த, கல்வி சார்ந்த, ஆய்வு சார்ந்த, வேலைவாய்ப்பு சார்ந்த பல்வேறு தகவல்களை வழங்குவதற்காக இந்திரா காந்தி தேசிய திறந்தநிலை பல்கலைக்கழகத்தின் பேராசிரியர், அன்பிற்கும் மதிப்பிற்கும் உரிய பேராசிரியர் பரமோத் குமார் மெகரா அவர்கள் நம்மளோடு இணைந்திருக்கின்றார். ஒரு உலகளவிலான பார்வை கொண்ட அவர் நமக்கு சில அறிவு வெளிச்சங்களையும் சில புதிய கதவுகளையும் நமக்கு திறந்து விடுவார் என்று மனப்பூர்வமான நம்புகின்றேன். நிச்சயமாக நமக்கு ஒரு புதிய வெளிச்சம் இந்த நிகழ்வின் மூலம் கிடைக்கும். இந்த நிகழ்ச்சியில் எனக்கு முன்னதாக மிக சிறப்பான ஒரு வரவேற்புரையை வழங்கி இந்த நிகழ்ச்சியை மிக திறம்பட நடத்தி கொண்டிருக்கின்ற திரு டாக்டர் ஆர் மகேந்திரன் அவர்களுக்கும், இந்த நிகழ்ச்சியை தொகுத்து வழங்கி நிறைவாக நன்றி உரை வழங்க இருக்கின்ற ஆய்வாளர் முனியராஜ் அவர்களுக்கும் என்னுடைய வணக்கத்தை தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கின்றேன். நண்பர்களே, ஒவ்வொரு காலமும் ஒரு யுகமாக ஒரு மைய பொருளில் இந்த சமூகம் இந்த மானுடம் வளர்ந்து வந்திருக்கிறது. ஒரு காலத்தில் மனித இனம் இவ்வளவு பெரிய வளர்ச்சி அடைவதற்கு ஆதாரமாக இருந்தது அறிவு. இந்த அறிவை மனிதன் எவ்வாறு பெறுகிறான் என்று சிந்தித்தோமே ஆனால் அது மொழியின் வழியாகத்தான் இந்த அறிவை பெற முடியும். மொழி என்பது அறிவு அல்ல என்பதை நாம் அறிவோம். ஆனால் அறிவை அடைவதற்கு மொழிதான் ஆதாரம். இன்று உலகில் பல மொழிகள் இருக்கின்றன. மொழி என்பது அறிவு தேடலுக்கான கருவி மட்டுமல்ல, மொழி என்பது நம்மளுடைய பண்பாட்டினுடைய அடையாளம். ஒவ்வொரு பண்பாடும் தனக்கான பண்பாட்டை நிறுவுவதோடு மட்டுமல்ல, தன் பண்பாட்டினை உலகம் முழுவதும் பரவுவதற்கு மொழியைத்தான் ஒரு மிகச்சிறந்த கருவியாக பயன்படுத்தியும் வருகின்றன. மொழியின் காரணமாகத்தான் மனிதர்கள் இணைகிறார்கள், பிரிக்கிறார்கள் என்கின்ற அடிப்படை உணர்வு நமக்கு இருக்கின்றது. ஆனால் இன்று ஒவ்வொரு இனமும் தங்களுடைய மொழிக்கு முதன்மை கொடுத்து தங்கள் மொழியினுடைய சிறப்புகளை உணர்ந்திருக்கின்ற பட்சத்தில் கூட, ஆனால் உலகம் முழுவதுமே மக்களை இணைக்கக்கூடிய ஒரு கருவியாக ஆங்கில மொழி திகழ்கிறது என்பதில் அனைவருக்குமே மாற்று கருத்து இருக்க முடியாது. அதே நேரத்தில் கல்வி புலத்தில் ஒரு அறிவு தேடலுக்கான வாய்ப்பாக மட்டும் ஆங்கில இலக்கியம் அல்லது ஆங்கில மொழி கல்வி என்பது இல்லை. அது இன்று வேலை வாய்ப்புக்கு உதவக்கூடியதாகவும் தனி மனித ஆளுமைகளை மேம்படுத்தக்கூடியதாகவும் இந்த மொழி அமைந்திருக்கிறது. இன்று நாம் அனைவரும் அறிந்த ஒரு செய்திதான், உலகிலே மக்கள் பேசும் மொழிகள், பல மொழிகள் பேசுகிறார்கள், பல மொழிகள் அழிந்து வருகிறது, பல மொழிகள் அழியும் நிலையில் இருக்கிறது. கடைசி மனிதன் பேசக்கூடியதாக ஒரு மொழி இருக்கிறது. ஆனால் நாடுதோறும் வளர்ந்தக்கூடிய ஒரு மொழியாக ஆங்கில மொழி இருக்கிறது என்பதை நாம் மறந்துவிட முடியாது. 1.8 பில்லியன் மக்கள் இன்று ஆங்கில மொழியை பேசுகிறார்கள். அது மட்டுமல்ல, அதனை அடுத்து மாண்ட்ரின் மொழி என்று சீன மொழி, மாண்ட்ரின் மொழி இருப்பது வரலாற்று சிறப்புமிக்க அந்த மொழி விட ஆங்கில இலக்கியம் அது தொன்மையான மொழியாக அதிக மக்கள் அதற்கு இணையாக பேசக்கூடிய மக்களாக இருந்தாலும் கூட மாண்ட்ரின் மொழியை விட ஆங்கில மொழி வளர்ந்து வரக்கூடிய ஒரு மொழியாக இருக்கிறது. 67 நாடுகளில் ஆங்கில மொழி அபிஷியல் லாங்குவேஜாக இருக்கிறது. அது மட்டுமல்ல, உலகில் இருக்கக்கூடிய மிக முக்கியமான உலக அமைப்புகள், UN என்று சொல்லக்கூடிய யுனைடெட் நேஷன், யூரோப்பியன் யூனியன், காமன்வெல்த் நேஷன், கவுன்சில் ஆஃப் யூரோப் போன்ற புகழ்பெற்ற மானுட பரப்பில் மிக முக்கியமாக மதிக்கக்கூடிய அமைப்புகள் தங்களுடைய முதல் அலுவல் மொழியாக ஆங்கிலத்தை தான் வைத்திருக்கிறார்கள். நான் முன்பு சொன்னேன், ஆங்கில மொழி நாளுக்கு நாள் வளர்ந்து வருகிறது என்பதற்கு ஒரு சிறந்த உதாரணம், ஒவ்வொரு ஆண்டும் ஆங்கில அகராதி டிக்ஷனரி தயாரிக்கின்ற பொழுது சென்ற ஆண்டை விட 4000 வார்த்தைகள் புதிதாக இணைந்து கொண்டே வருகிறது என்று ஆய்வாளர்கள் கண்டறிந்திருக்கிறார்கள். ஆக ஒரு வளரும் மொழியாக இதை நாம் பார்க்க வேண்டும். உலக அளவிலே மக்களை இணைக்கக்கூடிய மொழியாக இதை நாம் பார்க்கின்றோம். பொதுவாக ஆங்கில மொழியை ஒரு வணிக மொழி என்று சொல்வார்கள். அதையும் தாண்டி இன்று அது அரசியல் ரீதியாகவும் சமூக ரீதியாகவும் தொழில் ரீதியாகவும் ஒரு ஆதிக்கம் செலுத்தக்கூடிய அல்லது ஆட்சிமைப்படுத்தக்கூடிய ஒரு மொழியாக ஆங்கில இலக்கியத்தை உலக மக்கள் பார்க்கிறார்கள். ஆங்கிலத்தை தவிர்த்து விட்டு இந்த சமூகத்தோடு இணைய முடியாது, உலக சமூகத்தோடு இணைய முடியாத ஒரு நிலையில் நாம் இருக்கின்றோம். அறிவு, எந்த சமூகம் யாருக்கு மொழி அறிவு, அது எந்த மொழியாக இருக்கலாம், தாய்மொழியாக இருக்கலாம், வேற மொழியாக இருக்கலாம், எந்த மொழியின் மீது நமக்கு ரொம்ப ஈடுபாடோடு அந்த அறிவு பெறுகிறோமோ அவர்களால் தான் தங்களுடைய அறிவை மேம்படுத்திக் கொள்ள முடியும். எனக்கு ஒரு கேள்வி வருகிறது. பொதுவாக நம்மளுடைய புரிதல் எப்படி இருக்குது என்றால், ஆங்கிலம் படித்தால் ஆங்கிலம் படிக்கின்றவர்கள் ஆசிரியராக போகலாம். இதுதான் நமக்கு தெரிந்த, எல்லோருமே அறிந்த ஒரு செய்தி. அதற்கு அடுத்தபடியாக ஊடகத்துறையிலோ எழுத்துத்துறையிலோ பயணிக்கலாம் என்கின்ற ஒரு சிந்தனை. ஆனால் நண்பர்களே, உங்களுக்கு தெரியுமா என்று எனக்கு தெரியாது, மென்பொருள் துறையில் நாம் வேலைக்கு பணிக்கு ஒருவர் வாய்ப்பு இருக்கிறது என்றால் 60% ஆங்கிலம் படித்தவர்களுக்கும் 40% தான் தொழில்நுட்ப அலுவலர்களுக்குமான பணியாக இருக்கிறது. இன்று பல்வேறு டிவைசஸ், அதாவது கையடக்க கருவிகள் வந்து கொண்டே இருக்கின்றன. எல்லாவற்றிற்கும் அதனுடைய முதல் பேசு பொருளாக, இயங்கு தளமாக, கருவியாக இருப்பது ஒரு மொழி. அது ஆங்கில மொழியாக இருக்கிறது. அடுத்து அந்தந்த மாநில மொழிகளுக்கு அது மாற்றப்படுகிறது. அதை உருவாக்குவதற்கு 2 வல்லுநர்கள் தேவை. புலமை சார்ந்த அந்த டெக்னாலஜி தெரிந்த ஒரு வல்லுநர். ஆனால் இதில் பிரதானமாக முதன்மையாக அந்த ஆங்கில அறிவு அல்லது தமிழ் என்றால் தமிழ் அறிவு, ஹிந்தி என்றால் ஹிந்தி அறிவு, அந்த அறிவு தெரிந்தவர்களுடைய நுட்பத்தை பயன்படுத்தித்தான் அந்த தொழில்நுட்பத்தை அவர்கள் உருவாக்குகிறார்கள். ஆகவே மிகப்பெரிய வேலை வாய்ப்பு. சற்று நேரத்துக்கு முன்பு கூட எங்கள் பேராசிரியரிடம் நான் சொல்லுகின்ற பொழுது, பல்வேறு துறைகளில் ஆங்கிலம் படித்தவர்களுக்கான வாய்ப்பு இருக்கிறது. ஆனால் நாம் திறந்து பார்க்கக்கூடிய கதவு கல்வி புலத்தை மட்டுமே பார்த்து கொண்டு இருக்கின்றோம். ஆனால் இன்று மிகப்பெரிய அளவில் சாப்ட்வேர் என்று சொல்லக்கூடிய மென்பொருள் தயாரிப்பு துறையில் அதை நீங்கள் கொஞ்சம் மனம் திறந்து அந்த பகுதியை பார்த்தீர்களே என்றால் உங்களுக்கான வேலை வாய்ப்பு மட்டுமல்ல, பல புதிய அறிவு தளங்களுக்கு வாய்ப்பாக அமையும். அதற்கு அடுத்தபடியாக மல்டிநேஷனல் கம்பெனி என்று சொல்லக்கூடிய MNCல இன்னைக்கு ரொம்ப எதிர்பார்க்கக்கூடியது ஆங்கில இலக்கியம் அல்லது ஆங்கில மொழி அறிவு கொண்ட ஒருவரைத்தான். அவர்களிடம் பொறியியல் துறையில் படித்தவர்களுக்கு யாருக்கு ஆங்கில அறிவு அதிகமாக இருக்கிறதோ அவர்களை இப்பொழுது பயன்படுத்திக் கொண்டிருக்கிறார்கள். ஆனால் முழுக்க ஆங்கில இலக்கியமும் ஆங்கில மொழி அறிவும் பெற்ற ஒருவருக்கு அங்கு பெரிய கதவுகள் திறந்திருக்கிறது. ஏனென்றால் தகவல் தொடர்பின் மூலமும் தான் எந்த ஒரு உற்பத்தி பொருளையும் மக்களிடம் கொண்டு சேர்க்க முடியும். அந்த தொடர்பு சாதனமாக நான் முன்பு சொன்னது போல மொழி இருக்கிறது. அதனால்தான் இன்று பன்னாட்டு நிறுவனங்கள் பலவும் மொழியின் காரணமாகவே ஒரு மோசமான ஒரு பொருளை, உற்பத்தி பொருளை கூட அழகிய மொழியில் அவர்கள் விற்பனை செய்யப்படுகிறது. அங்கு மொழிதான் பிரதானமாக இருக்கிறது. ஆக நண்பர்களே, மென்பொருள் தொழில், நீங்கள் அதை எனக்கு பின்னாடி பேசக்கூடிய சிறப்பு விருந்தினர் விரிவாக பேசுவார். நான் ஒரு சில விஷயத்தை மட்டும் கோடிட்டு காட்டுகின்றேன். மென்பொருள் தொழில் உங்களுக்கான வாய்ப்புகளில் முதலிடத்தில் இருக்கிறது. அதனை அடித்து என் அனுபவத்திலும் சரி, இப்பொழுதைய சூழலும் சரி, மீடியா என்று சொல்லக்கூடிய அந்த ஊடகத்துறையில் முழுக்க முழுக்க வாய்ப்புகள் மிக அதிக அளவில் இருக்கிறது என்பதை நீங்கள் மறந்துவிடக்கூடாது. இன்று இருக்கக்கூடிய, அதாவது ஒர்க்கிங் ஜேர்னலிஸ்டில் 60% மேற்பட்டவர்கள் ஆங்கில இலக்கியத்தை படித்தவர்கள் தான். மீடியா படிப்பு என்பது மீடியா தொழில்நுட்பத்தை அறிந்து கொள்வதற்காகவும் அதனுடைய வடிவமைப்பை புரிந்து கொள்வதற்காகவே தவிர, அதில் இயங்கக்கூடிய, அதில் செயல்படுவதற்கு அறிவு என்பது, ஆங்கில இலக்கிய அறிவு மிக மிக அவசியம். அதனால் உங்களுக்கு பல வாய்ப்புகள் இருக்கிறது. நீங்கள் இப்பொழுது இந்த கொரோனா தொற்றுக்கு பின்பு ஒரு மிகப்பெரிய ஒரு மாற்றம் நிகழ்ந்திருக்கிறது. என்ன மாற்றம் என்றால், நிறுவனம் சார்ந்து நீங்கள் ஒரு பணியை ஆற்ற வேண்டிய அவசியம் இல்லை. உங்கள் இல்லத்தில் இருந்தே நீங்களே ஒரு நிறுவனமாக மாறி பணியாற்றக்கூடிய ஒரு வாய்ப்பு இப்பொழுது உருவாக்கி இருக்கிறது. குறிப்பாக சோசியல் மீடியா என்று சொல்லக்கூடிய ஒவ்வொரு பிரபலங்களும் தங்களுக்கான தனியாக அந்த மீடியாவோடு அவர்கள் இணைக்கிற ட்விட்டரோ ஃபேஸ்புக்கோ அவர்களுடைய மீடியா மேனேஜர் என்று ஒருவரை நியமிக்கிறார். அவர்கள் ஆங்கில மொழி தெரிந்தவர்களாக இருக்கிறார். திரையுலக பிரமுகர்களும் சரி, அரசியல் பிரமுகர்களும் சரி, விளையாட்டு பிரமுகர்களும் சரி, தங்களுக்கான தனி மீடியாக்களை உருவாக்கி வைத்திருக்கிறார்கள். அந்த மீடியாக்களில் தங்களுடைய கருத்துக்களையும் செய்திகளையும் முறையாக எழுதி வெளியிடுவதற்கு அவர்கள் ஆங்கில இலக்கியம் படித்த ஒரு வல்லுநரை அல்லது ஒரு நண்பரை அவர்கள் தேடிக்கொண்டிருக்கிறார்கள். நிரந்தரமான ஒரு பணியாக அல்லது கூடுதல், அதாவது வேறொரு பணியில் இருந்து கொண்டு இதை கூடுதல் பணியாக செய்யக்கூடிய ஒரு வாய்ப்பும் நிறைய இருக்கிறது. இன்னொரு புதிய கலாச்சாரம் இந்தியாவில் பரவி வருகிறது. மேலை நாடுகளில் ஒரு பெரிய கண்டென்ட் எழுதி முடித்தவுடன், அது ஒரு நாவலாக இருக்கலாம், சிறுகதையாக இருக்கலாம், காலமாக இருக்கலாம், எழுதியவுடன் அந்த எழுத்தாளர் நேரடியாக அதை நேரடியாக பதிப்பித்து விடுவார், அந்த பதிப்பகத்திற்கு அனுப்பி. ஆனால் இந்தியாவில் அறிமுகம் இல்லாத ஒரு புது பழக்கமாக ஏற்கனவே வெளிநாடுகளில் இருந்தது. ஒரு கண்டென்ட் எடிட்டர் ஒரு நாவல் எழுதிவிட்டால் அது ஒரு எடிட்டரிடம் கொடுத்து அதை செப்பனிடம் செய்து பின்பு வெளியிடக்கூடிய ஒரு வழக்கத்தை இப்ப இருக்கக்கூடிய பதிப்புத்துறை வலியுறுத்தி வருகிறது. அதன் காரணமாக எண்ணற்ற வேலை வாய்ப்புகள் திறந்திருக்கிறது பதிப்புத்துறையில். நாம் எழுத வேண்டியவில்லை, நாவல் எழுத வேண்டாம், வேற ஒருவர் எழுதிய நாவலை நாம் எடிட் செய்ய போகின்றோம். மொழி சார்ந்த எடிட்டிங்காக அது இருக்கிறது என்பதையும் உங்களுக்கு நினைவு கொள்ள விரும்புகிறேன். மூன்றாவதாக ஒரு முக்கியமான வேலை வாய்ப்பு பேரா லீகல். இன்று பார்த்தீங்கன்னா பல தொழில் வளர்கிறது. பல வளர்ச்சிகள் வந்த உடனே மனிதர்கள் பலர் இணைந்தவுடன் அங்கு சண்டைகள், சச்சரவுகள் வர ஆரம்பிக்கிறது. அப்பொழுது சட்ட ரீதியான தீர்வுகளுக்கு அவர்கள் வழக்கறிஞர்கள் அந்த சட்ட கருத்துக்களை சொல்லுகின்ற பொழுது அவற்றினை முறையாக டிராப்ட் என்று சொல்லக்கூடிய எழுத்துப்பூர்வமாக அவற்றை வடிவமைத்து தருவதற்கு பேரா லீகல் என்ற கூடிய ஒரு துறை இந்தியாவில், குறிப்பாக தமிழகம் போன்ற இடங்களில் பரவலாக வருகிறது. மதுரை, திருச்சி, கோயம்புத்தூர் போன்ற நகரங்களில் கூட பேரா லீகல் ஆபீஸ் உருவாக்கப்பட்டு வழக்கறிஞர்களிடம் இருந்து வரக்கூடிய அந்த கட்டுகளை வச்சு அவர்கள் டிராப்ட் போட்டுக் கொடுக்கக்கூடிய ஒரு நிலைமையும் அங்கு உருவாக்கி இருக்கிறது. நண்பர்களே, இப்பொழுது முகநூல் பக்கத்தை எந்த பக்கத்தை திருந்தினாலும் ஒரு விளம்பரத்தை பார்ப்பீர்கள், பப்ளிஷிங். ஒவ்வொருவரும் முன்பு கல்வியாளர்களும் சரி, எழுத்தாளர்களும் சரி, தங்களுடைய சிந்தனைகளை, கருத்துக்களை மக்கள் மத்தியிலே பகிர்ந்து கொள்ள வேண்டும் என்றால் அவர்கள் தான் எழுதுவார்கள் என்ற ஒரு நிலை இருக்கிறது. இப்பொழுது ஒவ்வொருவருமே சின்ன அனுபவங்களை கூட அவர்கள் மிக அழகாக, நேர்த்தியாக எழுதி வெளியிட விரும்புகிறார்கள். அதற்காக அதை வடிவமைப்பு டிராப்ட் தயார் பண்ணி கொடுப்பதற்காக அந்த பப்ளிஷிங் கம்பெனிகள் பல உருவாகி இருக்கின்றன. ஒருவரிடம் கண்டென்ட்டை பெற்று இன்னொரு கண்டென்ட் எடிட்டரிடம் கொடுத்து அதை செப்பனிட்டு வெளியிடக்கூடிய ஒரு நீண்ட தொழில் மரபு முறை உருவாக்கி இருக்கிறது. எனவே அதற்கும் மிகப்பெரிய வாய்ப்பு இருக்கிறது. இப்பொழுது மூன்றாவதாக இந்த கொரோனா காலத்திலே மீடியாவில் இன்னொரு வாய்ப்பு எப்படி என்றால், இப்ப டைம்ஸ் ஆஃப் இந்தியாவோ, இந்தியா டுடே போன்ற நிறுவனங்களோ அவனுடைய செய்தியாளர்களையும் உதவி ஆசிரியர்களையும் வைத்து தங்களுக்கான கண்டென்ட்டை அவர்கள் தயாரித்தார்கள். இப்பொழுது மாற்றாக ஃப்ரீலான்ஸ் கண்டென்ட் ப்ரொவைடர்ஸ், அதாவது தனியாக சுயசார்பாக அவர்கள் எழுதக்கூடியவர்கள், அவர்களுடைய பெயரிலும் வரும், வேற ஒருவர் பெயரிலும் வரும், பொது கட்டுரையாகவும் வரும். ஆனால் அதற்கான ஊதியம் என்பதும் அனுபவம் என்பதும் மிக அதிக அளவில் இருக்கிறது. என்பதையும் நாம் புரிந்து கொள்ள வேண்டும். இது ஒரு புதிய ஏரியா. கண்டென்ட் ப்ரொவைடர்ங்கிறது நம்மளுடைய வீட்டிலிருந்தே நமக்கு ஒரு பெரிய, அதாவது ஒரு நிறுவனத்தில் நாம் எவ்வளவு ஊதியத்தை எதிர்பார்க்கின்றோமோ அதற்கு அதிகமான ஊதியத்தை பெறக்கூடிய ஒரு வாய்ப்பு நமக்கு கிடைக்கிறது. உங்களுக்கு ஏற்கனவே தெரிந்த அடுத்த ஒரு விஷயம் டூரிசம். டூரிசத்திலே முழுக்க 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 ஹிஸ்டரி, கல்ச்சர் படித்தவர்கள் என்பது ஒரு முறையாக இருந்தாலும் கூட அயலகத்தில் வெளிநாட்டு டூரிசம், ஃபாரினர்ஸோட வருகை கூட கூட நல்ல ஆங்கில உச்சரிப்பும் தெளிவாக எடுத்து சொல்லக்கூடிய வல்லமையும் உள்ள ஆங்கில இலக்கியம் படித்தவர்களை அவர்கள் தேடுகிறார்கள். ஒவ்வொரு நாடும் தங்களுக்கான வருமானத்தை ஈட்டுவதற்கு மிக முக்கியமான மூலதனமாக டூரிசத்தை பார்க்கிறார்கள். டூரிசம் உலகம் முழுவதும் வளர்ந்து வருகிறது. அதற்கேற்ப வேலை வாய்ப்பும் ஆங்கிலத்துறைக்கு அது மிக சிறப்பாக இருக்கிறது. ஆக இந்த அளவிலே ஒரு பரந்துபட்ட ஒரு நிலையில் ஆங்கில இலக்கியத்தில் வேலை வாய்ப்புகள் நமக்கு மிக அதிகமாக மரபாக நிறைய வேலை வாய்ப்பு இருப்பு என்பதை சொல்வதற்காக அதை நான் சொல்லவில்லை. நிதர்சனமாக இது ஒரு நிகழ்வு. நிறைவாக பல்வேறு ஆராய்ச்சி முடிவுகளின் அடிப்படையில் நாம் மருத்துவம் படிக்கிறவர்களும் இருக்கிறார்கள், பொறியியல் துறையில் படிக்கிறவர்கள் இருக்கிறார்கள், வெவ்வேறு துறை சார்ந்த அறிவுகளை பெறுகிறவர்கள் இருக்கிறார்கள். ஆனால் பல்வேறு கல்வி சார்ந்த ஆய்வு முடிவுகளின் அடிப்படையில் பார்க்கின்ற போது இலக்கியம் படிப்பவர்களுக்கும் மொழியை படிப்பவர்களுக்கும் சில தனித்தன்மைகள் இருப்பதாக கண்டறியப்பட்டிருக்கிறது. நீங்கள் பொறியியல் படிக்கலாம், எதுவும் படிக்கலாம், ஆனால் அவற்றிலெல்லாம் நீங்கள் பெற முடியாத ஒரு வல்லமையை இலக்கியம் மொழி படிக்கின்ற பொழுது நீங்கள் பெற முடியும். அது என்னவென்றால் உங்கள் சுயசார்பு தன்மை. நீங்கள் பொதுவாக மொழி படிப்பவர்களும் இலக்கியம் படிப்பவர்களுக்கும் சுயமாக சிந்திப்பவர்களாக இருப்பார்கள். கிளிப்பிள்ளை போல் மற்றவர்கள் சொல்வதை எடுத்து சொல்பவர்களாக இல்லாமல் சுயமாக சிந்திப்பவர்களாக அவர்கள் இருக்கிறார்கள் என்று ஆய்வு முடிவுகள் சொல்கிறது. இரண்டாவது முடிவு, ஆய்வு முடிவு, நீங்கள் எந்த ஒரு கருத்தையும், எந்த ஒரு கருத்தாக்கத்தையும், எந்த ஒரு திட்ட முன்மொழிவையும் எளிதாக உள்வாங்கிக் கொள்ளக்கூடியவர்களாக அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்டிங் கெப்பாசிட்டி அவர்களுக்கு மிக அதிகமாக இருக்கிறதாக கணிக்கப்படுகிறது. நிறைவாக ஆளுமைத்தன்மை, யாருக்கு மிக 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 ஆளுமைத்தன்மை இருக்கிறது என்று கல்வி புலம், எந்த கல்வி அறிவை பட்ட எல்லோருக்கும் இருக்கும். ஆனால் ஒரு மதிப்பீட்டு அளவில் பார்க்கின்ற பொழுது மொழி இலக்கியம் படிக்கின்ற மாணவர்கள் மத்தியிலே அவர்களுடைய ஆளுமை தன்மை மிக அதிகமாக மிளிர்வதாக அவர்கள் கண்டறிந்திருக்கிறார்கள். ஆகவே நண்பர்களே, ஆங்கில இலக்கியம் என்பது நமக்கு பல புதிய கதவுகளை திறந்துவிடக்கூடிய ஒரு களமாகவும் புதிய ஜன்னல்களை திறந்துவிடக்கூடிய ஒரு களமாகவும் இருக்கிறது. குறிப்பாக எல்லோருக்கும் எப்போதும் கல்வி என்கின்ற நிலையில் தாங்களே படித்து அறியக்கூடிய ஒரு வகையில் பாடநூல்களை உருவாக்கி பாடநூல்களுக்கு இடையே கூட காட்சி ஊடகங்களை அணுகக்கூடிய, அதாவது லிங்க் கொடுக்கக்கூடிய ஒரு பாட பிரிவுகளோடு தமிழ்நாடு திறந்தநிலை பல்கலைக்கழகத்தில் இளங்கலை பட்டம், முதுகலை பட்டம் நாங்கள் வழங்கி வருகின்றோம். மற்றும் நீங்கள் எந்த புலத்தில் எந்த பல்கலைக்கழகத்தில் படித்தாலும் சரி ஆங்கில இலக்கியத்திற்கு உங்களுக்கு மிகப்பெரிய வாய்ப்பு இருக்கிறது. குறிப்பாக தமிழ்நாடு திறந்தநிலை பல்கலைக்கழகம் ஆங்கில இலக்கியம் தொடர்பான இளநிலை, முதுகலை, ஆராய்ச்சி படிப்புகளை மிகுந்த அக்கறையோடும், இவ்வளவு கருத்துக்களை நான் சொன்னேன் அல்லவா, இவற்றையெல்லாம் உள்வாங்கிக் கொண்டு பாடத்திட்டங்களை வடிவமைப்பு இந்த நூற்றாண்டில் இந்த அறிவுக்கு தேவையான வகையில் மாண்புமிகு எங்கள் துணைவேந்தர் அவர்கள் ஒவ்வொரு சூழ்நிலைக்கும் ஏற்ப பாடத்திட்டங்களை மறுசீரமைப்பு செய்து இப்பொழுது புதிய வடிவில் புதிய அணுகுமுறைகள், அதாவது உலக தரத்தில் உலக அளவில் இருக்கக்கூடிய தலை சிறந்த உயர்கல்வி நிறுவனங்களுடைய பாடத்திட்டத்திற்கு மேம்பட்டதாக எங்கள் பல்கலைக்கழகத்தின் பாடத்திட்டம் இருப்பது என்பதை உங்களுக்கு அறிமுக நிலையில் கூறி மிக விரிவாகவும் உங்களுக்கு பல கதவுகளை திறந்த விட வருகின்ற மரியாதைக்கும் அன்பிற்கும் உரிய பேராசிரியர் பிரமோத் குமார் அவர்களை மாண்புமிகு எங்கள் துணைவேந்தருடைய சார்பிலும் எங்கள் அனைவருடைய சார்பிலும் எங்களுடைய துணைவேந்தர் அவருடைய சார்பிலும் அனைவருடைய சார்பிலும் வருக வருக என்று வரவேற்று இத்துடன் என்னுடைய உரையை நிறைவு செய்து கொள்கிறேன். நன்றி, வணக்கம்.
Thank you, sir. I request Dr. R. Mahendran, Assistant Professor of English, Tamil Nadu Open University, to introduce our chief guest.
Thank you. I am happy to introduce my dear friend Parmud Kumar Megraji. His biodata goes to more than 50 pages, but I can give precisely in this webinar because I could not take much time to explain about his achievements. Professor Parmud Kumar Megra has got his PhD in English and is serving as a professor of English in the School of Humanities, Indira Gandhi National Open University, New Delhi. He is an Australian studies scholar and received prestigious Australia-India Council Fellowship. He also acted as a cultural ambassador of India and gave lectures on India's incredible culture diversity. His areas of interest and expertise include literature, world literatures in English, literary theory and criticism, distance education, South Asian politics, Australian studies, translation, theory and research. He is also the coordinator of postgraduate diploma program in book publishing. Further, he has represented the country at various international forums and promoted the cause of equality, peace, and global citizenship. He has been an international fellow of Australia India Council and has represented the country in Australia, UK, USA, Korea, Cambodia, Nepal, Malaysia, and Thailand. Further, he has been awarded as Ambassador for Peace by the Universal Peace Federation and nominated as the President of Youth Federation of World Peace India Chapter. He is having encyclopedic knowledge in English literature and distance education. I am very much thankful to you, sir, for accepting my invitation to deliver a special lecture in this webinar. I request you to deliver your lecture. Thank you, sir.
All right. Is it echoing? Can you hear me completely? Some echo sound is there.
Sir, I think you have opened two systems, sir.
Me?
No. There are two windows on your name. Yes. Now it's okay, sir. Sir, please unmute your mic. Sir, Parmud, sir, please unmute your mic.
Yeah.
Yes, what?
All right. So this is a very important day. When I got this opportunity, this invitation, I thought that I would begin this lecture by complimenting all of you. When the whole world is stuck, when we are all suffering in terms of our movements because of this corona pandemic, the way you are making sure that learning should not stop. The interactivity, the kind of close engagement with our students should not stop. This is a very important effort. And it is very important time in the sense that people are beginning to know the strengths of open education also. Normally, we have seen that people mix it with correspondence education. I think this time has helped us to present the most brightest side of distance education. I'm glad that now people are realizing that this is one very important 21st century fold of education where we can connect to our students, not only in the like just we do in the face-to-face mode, but we can cater to them, their academic needs in a much more substantial way. So I compliment your efforts, the way you are trying to connect to them, and kind of after they pass out, after they complete their degrees, it is a teacher's job to kind of post completion post completion phase also, where we cater to their needs and help them with some exposition about the career opportunities. Dr. Mahendra, like, and all the faculty members there, your PhD student is doing good work. I thought I'll begin with the idea what Alvin Toffler is talking about. If we read his book, Rethinking the Future, he talks about that 21st century learning is going to be different. And in what way it is going to be different? He says that it is not going to be about degrees. Last 50 years, if we look at it, we find that there has been a thrust on degrees accumulation, like highest degree. Everyone, has been, determined for the highest, like PhD, and then even beyond that, we will see what we can do from overseas. But when we look around today, he says that the idea of education, the idea of literacy will be different. It will be about those who will be able to relocate themselves, who will be unlearn the skills that they have acquired in the classroom, and who will be able to realign and acclimatize and adapt to the different situations. I think that before we discuss the career opportunities for our English graduate students, it is very important that we understand the core spirit. The core spirit is that we have to be more ready to serve the needs, the expectations that society, has in mind. So we are not going to, in a way, brag about and be too much of complacent about our educational degrees, but we have to be ready. Like you read my CV, and what I have done. I think that is basically to prepare myself to be able to serve the best needs, expectations of my society where I live in. So this is very important when our students are preparing themselves, they are completing their degrees, they realize the higher side of it. They realize the higher purpose of it. And English literature is in a very big world. Now, I have prepared a PPT. If I am allowed to share that, I would like to make my points through that.
Sir, you can share your PPT.
Okay.
Sir, you are allowed to share your PPT, sir. You can share it now.
I'm doing that, but it says something, it suggests something. Just give me 5 seconds. Yes, there was some issue. I think, are we connected once again?
Yes, connected.
Can you listen to me?
Yes, I can hear.
All
Yes, sir,
right.
yes, sir.
Sorry,
Yes,
this
sir.
is causing some issues. I'm trying to share the screen, but this platform has some different outlay, and this is
கைட் பண்றதா இங்க கேட்கல. அவர் விண்டோ தானே, அவர் சிஸ்டத்தினுடைய விண்டோ போடுது. இப்போ என்ன பண்ணணும்? Sir, the technician says that you can open your content from the folder.
okay. Can you like earlier this share screen option was there, but now it is completely missing.
Hey, my goodness.
Huh? Okay. Sir, we are viewing your screen.
You are viewing my screen,
Yes, sir.
Yes.
and is it there something? Do you
Yes,
see
sir, sir.
something?
It comes, sir.
Yes, sir, we could able to see some career opportunities, some PowerPoint presentations.
Is it there now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes. May I? Yeah. Now I think we can formally, like, this has taken longer than expected, but I hope you will bear with me. Yeah. So I was saying that the world of literature is something that we need to understand. They say that the world creates the world, no? And literature gives us the power, the tenacity, the potential to understand the gravity of a word. So the in earlier times, we Egyptian proverb says that if you own a language, and if you own multiple languages, you are much more powerful than others. So those who study literature, I think they are at a higher pedestal, and they are in a position to relate to different cultural knowledge systems. And in a world where we live in today, through the power of translation, through the agency of translation, I think we get to know how various other cultures, how various other cultural patterns of knowledge communicate to us. So it is very important that it is not about studying literary texts, scrutinize, and debate. It is much more dynamic, much more enabling, and we need to kind of be ready for that. So our students who are connected today, they need to absorb this, that when you are studying literature, when you are preparing for a better future, when you are trying to locate yourself in the different domains of professional employments, you have to see that you are able to grip the word very solidly, very firmly. The job sectors are changing. it was like different when we used to study about, say, 25 years back. We used to focus more on teaching at the school level, college level, university level, but now it is much more diverse because of so many companies coming in. And I think our previous speaker talked about editing in a big way, how you can start in BPO sector, in media sector. There are so many openings. So what is important is that we need to have a more focused preparation. If we realize that there's this the study that you are undertaking, the study that you have completed, is about understanding not the word closely, and then the how it influences our life. And I hope you understand it, that when we read about a story, we don't read about a story, we read about the storyness of the story also. We read about the cause and effect sequence that transpires there. And we in that sense, what we call a parallel living experience, and we become better human beings there. So what I'm saying, what we can see, that what skills we expect from a literature graduate. It is about structured quality writing. It is about technical skills. It is about time management. It is about an ability to write well in a coherent order. It is about oral communication. It is, these are like basic tenets that would be expected of you. And analytical writing and critical and creative thinking. We need to identify with those closely. We need to sharpen what we have seen, that our teachers will cater to that in direct and indirect ways, and we have to absorb that in the most effective way. If I may begin with like a sense of the opportunities available with us, the our the topic assigned to me was glittering opportunities, but I would say that it is about like career opportunities, and how we can serve our society better. Like we can talk about first, like we have an opening as far as school and college teaching is concerned. You can call it a university teaching also. Few people have English major jobs, and these are very challenging and rewarding as the high school teacher. And preparing students for life after graduation, teachers built lesson plans, guide students in subject-specific curriculums, help them through college preparation and more. Career in education follows strict guidelines in licensing, certification, graduate studies. So researching this career path, planning out the academic pathway is crucial. And we have to start with a bachelor degree in English, and it's a solid step. I was telling you that 20 years back, this was the most important order. This was the most important framework that which was available to us. But now it is changing. But still, like in 21st century, when India is trying to become a knowledge economy, when India is trying to not as a consumer economy, but when we are trying to lay our claims, make a solid intervention as a knowledge economy, it is important that our teachers they are there. And when you have done your graduation, I think it is you are very much there to be able to fill that role and fulfill that share of your responsibility to help your country. As they say that teachers at various levels, at the primary level, secondary level, and then college level, there's a big responsibility. And with this orientation and this training in humanities, in languages, it is important, and you will become great teachers, and you can occupy the roles there. There are jobs available at center government and state government, and you can uh, you can, I think you can try and occupy a space there. And I think that when I think about this, I'm though like, sometimes the idea of teaching is not very fascinating. I have seen that these days students are getting more and more inspired by other job profiles, but teaching where you are, I think teaching is not in that sense too much of passion, because it is a backstage activity. You are there and you are preparing heroes for their roles in their life, but that is very important. And I would suggest that with the immense training and study skills that you have acquired, it will be important that you prepare yourself for this also. This is very important. Next thing that we can talk about is about publishing. Friends, right from the days of Aristotle and Plato, there has been a debate as to, like, Plato was very skeptical about publishing, that, once, you start writing a word, when you start inscribing a word, it gets frozen and it will be a issue, like, and the knowledge, it has to flow. There has to be a sense of, abstract nature there, and it will be, a kind of static nature to that, and he was not very much in favor. But the publishing world has flourished. I tell you, it is not granted the kind of role as an industry, but it is one of the largest industries that we have in our country. And more and more people are opting for freelance work, which means they are write sporadically for magazines, companies, newspapers, online journals, and they don't attach themselves to a certain company. You will have, if you have a flair for writing, if you have flair for analysis, I think you will be able to do wonders there. You can join a company. I think if you read the website and the educational supplement in various newspapers, there are enormous openings there, and your graduates can take up jobs in IT or digital marketing sector as a content writer, copywriter, proofreader, and editor. We will discuss separately also about these important job opportunities. So yes, as publishing is about, like, normally we feel that it is about the a, a bundle of pages. Someone has written a book, but there are various steps, right from the moment an idea is conceived in our mind, in the mind of an author, in the mind of a creative person, how he will bring that to the to the tangible shape, to the piece, to the book level. I think there are many people like they are also helping, and from that level, like, about the if you look at, like, once a manuscript is submitted with the publisher, there are various steps, like, about proofreading, and then printing, and then distribution, marketing. There are so many areas which have enormous job prospects. So I will encourage you for that. Then you have, like I told you, that there are various steps: copywriter, a language person who has an orientation in the world of words. They can serve in various fields to craft original, attention-grabbing texts based on a client's instruction. And there's a creative role that English literature majors may enjoy for writing, reading, and proofreading responsibilities. I see a lot of potential there, and you can do a formal sense of job, or the what we discussed previously, freelancing. They often work in advertising field, writing slogans, jingles, scripts, blog content, and many more things. And the landscape is very large. you can identify. So you have to keep your focus going. You have to identify that this is what you can uh, 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 define, analyze, interpret, and expose to this world. How to bring about that attention grabbing text, how to kind of bring that idea out so that everyone is uh, noticing that. This is very important. And if you look at technical writer, like if you have done like my university has a course where we teach postgraduate diploma in book publishing, where you, like if you have some science backgrounds, commerce background, and then you have a specialized understanding of some area, you can become a technical writer, and you can create and simplify technical documents such as instructions, manuals, guide, journal articles to help non-technical professional easily understand the written materials. There's a big market, a big company, like when they particularly like multinational companies, when they come here, so they will prepare content for their products in different languages. So technical writers use their analytical skills to take complicated jargon heavy material to translate them into more universally comprehensible ones. And they technically work in technology or engineering fields where they can help manage the flow of information. So this is important. And the other domain that we can discuss is that of an interpreter. Interpreter, you must have heard about previously also. How do they facilitate communication between two or more parties who speak different languages? For example, you can, if you know Tamil and English, you can always use that skill. And they, by translating and recommunicating both sides of a given conversation, and interpreters can work for many organizations, schools, government, private businesses, and hospitals, in the tourism industry. While interpreters must know more than one language, English literature majors who are bilingual or trilingual can expect to use their excellent communication skills in this position. Friends, it's that modern age has given us that the more we know languages, the more we can create, the more we can do to bring this world together. And then as far as professions are concerned, we can achieve much more. This is very important. And the role, the profile, the contribution of an interpreter is also very huge. I see, like if we look at diverse places where we can find some opening, theater and acting is one where we can, like with our training in articulation, in because English literature students and other students who have done bachelor's from the language point of view, they have this skill of voice modulation and articulation, writing, expression, analysis. So if you can take up in many fields, you can enter without needing a degree in that specific subject. And like Shakespeare and drama clubs, kids with, you can teach students how to deal with drama and creative writing. Choose to pursue a career in the theatrical arts once you graduate. An English literature degree equips you with an understanding of the complicated text and feeling behind the text, which in turn helps them to enact these feelings. Before I talk about copy editing, I would say that this is like when once we have read Hamlet, and where he kind of suffers on account of a sense of indecision, and his ability to kind of take a decisive call as to what to do next. And then the way we look at Merchant of Venice, Macbeth, Othello, and other plays by other people, like maybe university wits, and then up to Eliot, we find that literature gives us that ability to be better communicators, and that can be utilized in theater and acting. And there are many platforms, and you can do that. When we are talking about copy editors, I mean, I would say that, it is like it can be one very good way to launch yourself as a writer. You see, a copy editor revise written materials to make it easier to read, and they can work in a variety of fields such as journalism, marketing, academia, and advertising. And using their knowledge of grammar and writing styles, they are responsible for proofreading text. This is, I think, I have seen many students flourishing, from the role of a copy editor to then in a very celebrated author themselves. So this is important that, you can begin kind of place there, but don't stop there. You have to kind of bring out your own potential. You just see how these writers, these creative personalities come out with their manuscripts. What is their sense of motivation and inspiration, and how do they bring, it is basically, they say that it starts with every big major narrative, it starts with one single word, one single idea, and one single sentence. So how to develop that and how to elaborate that, it is important. So you can also take that into account, and that will be important. So when we are talking about, like, there are I was telling you, I was sharing with you that there are various other department jobs there as far as publishing sector is concerned, where you can occupy the role of a marketing manager who handles and the management of brand awareness and promotional campaigns. You can do work in variety of fields, and typically work in the business sector to attract more customers and encourage them to engage with the brand. Many marketing managers who work in a supervisory role where they manage other staff also. I think that the training and the orientation that you have in English literature, you have experience in writing, problem solving, collaborating, and creative projects, and you will enjoy serving the role and responsibility assigned to that. See, as a student of literature, we find how to negotiate with different challenging situations. And like you find in like Merchant of Venice, how Portia, kind of turned the tables. She kind of camouflages herself, and with the use of disguise, she comes as an advocate, and then kind of brings out a solution to the problem that they were facing. So you can do that with this in various positions also. I think that these days we are experiencing that publishing sector is also changing. New trends are coming. You have digital publishing, e-publishing. So I think you can take up the role of a publisher also. A publisher is a person with different job responsibilities, and he contacts the various writers, and then brings out good books for the public, and then serves the agency, of ensuring the knowledge flow. What do we need next? For example, today, in a corona situation, we need titles, we need books, we need information material for public at large as to how we will overcome the situation of a pandemic, how we will come out, and how if there is more situations like this in future, what are the best ways in terms of disaster management, in terms of saving precious lives, in terms of managing ourselves if there is a situation of lockdown. So a publisher has to identify important social needs and then cater to them in the process. It is about producing books, magazines, newspapers, and like even greeting cards also. They implement policies, approve project acquisitions, monitor spending, and make large business decisions. If government, whether state government or center government, if they have to reach out to public, they do it through publishers and English literature majors, like they enjoy working in this field that is directly related to the production of writing texts and literature in particular. So you will do that. And these days what we find that, like, self-publishing is coming up in a big way. Because, like, a person who writes a book has this feeling that it has to reach out to the different stakeholders in the society. So and sometimes, if he can also acquire the ownership, and then he can publish. There are various platforms available. You can also develop a platform for publishing. There are various training courses. So with the English literature background, with the English language background, it will be easier for you to do that. I think if you are discussing about opportunities, we need to kind of talk about advertising and public relations also in that sense. And English literature students, they have a sense of creativity in communication skills, and that imagination and sense of logic, reasoning, and writing skills, which leads them to various careers in advertising and public relations. As I have discussed, some of the roles previously, also in advertising, copywriter, creative director, event organizer, and PR manager, and others. So this is something that we can identify as far as using our skills. And there are very exciting careers where you need to use your verbal adeptness, creativity, and writing skills. This is important that we will need to kind of identify our positions as I mean, these days, if you look at how in job sector, in the public sector, if you look at civil services, you can find a place there, like in the latest, like where they have introduced CSAT, where they have talked about role of language, where there's a kind of bigger component for language learning, English language learning in particular. And I have seen, I have observed that many students kind of cherish that idea of building a career in the bureaucracy. So you can do that with your literature background, with your graduation. You have that qualification to appear there. And there's a very big competition is there, about 3 lakh and more the students, aspirants, they apply. And it has to be like complete focus. You have to bring your analysis, critical understanding, and writing pattern. You have to kind of bring that to the most highest point of expression. So that will be very important. So yes, you can appear in civil services also, like at the prelims level, and then at the mains level. It will help you in a much more important way. And the kind of syllabus that we have in the level of bachelor's and then the master's, I think it is there is a sense of complementarity. And once you are good at your studies, it will be easier for you. So if we move forward, like, this is one thing that I would like to lay maximum focus on when we are like trying to look for jobs. We are looking for opportunities after our graduation, after our completion of educational degrees. It is very important that we don't look like job seekers. We don't look like, in the hunt of a job, like from 9 to 5 job or in a formal sector, some assignment. But we have to think out of box also, and we have to put to use our critical creative understanding that we have, and that can be like, who is a writer or an author? What is so fascinating about that? Independence, artistry, storytelling, communication. Writers and authors are researchers. When you write something, you simply don't write a story. You bring out a big a higher degree knowledge system. I mean, there is lots of like inter and transdisciplinary knowledge flowing out there. So I would suggest that you use your qualities, in the field of science, news, media, government organizations, freelance, and more, and very paying sector, and one of the most flexible in terms of definition. Writers and authors may also be illustrators, editors, and managers, and they could start their careers on a novel, like non-profits, and the list is endless. And the kind of creative satisfaction that you get after a book or after working for a book, it is immense. So, and this is very in our situation in 21st century, it is very important. India is a land of stories. India, if you just see outside, in the streets, and through the windows, you find that there is so much waiting to be written. So in my like role as a teacher, as a person who is kind of urging you, who is inviting you to different career opportunities, I am saying that you have to gradually evolve as a independent writer and author. When I'm saying you can be a writer, you can be a poet, you can be a dramatist, but this is important that with your training and the kind of labor that you have teachers have put in for the job, you bring that side. And I tell you, like, we are all born unique. We are all born special. And, you can harness that speciality. You can harness that potential with the domain of writing and authorship. So this is very important, my dear friends. And, like, once we are saying that, these days we were saying that the employment sector is becoming much more diversified. There are some jobs which were not there earlier, but now they are inviting big attention as far as new graduates are concerned. One such uh, opportunity is that of a social media manager. Different companies, different organizations, they have their social media pages, their platforms, and what they want that the persons will develop creative and engaging social media strategies and manage the day-to-day handling of all social media channels such as LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, and YouTube. TikTok is being banned, so adapting to content to different channels. You need to oversee, plan, and deliver content across different platforms using scheduling tools, which are there in abundance. You have to create and engage multimedia content, or you can outsource that, and you have to do that across multiple platforms. What I'm trying to say that if you look around, you can try and fit in different, even like even in the social media sectors. I told you that in terms of content creation, content writing, there's a big workflow. And if you are writing that, no, you will also ask me as to how to prepare that, when I often, ask my students, to, it is writing and then analyzing. It is not like it does not end with a degree. It is ever going, like, it is every day. In fact, every moment, if you are seeing something, you have to kind of use your thinking ability. And as far as a strict discipline of writing is concerned, I suggest that you have to write about 100 to 200 words every day. You have to, like, you have to say, you have to kind of, you cannot take it for granted. And I think that what at one point of time my teacher told me that even if you want to do a PhD, even if you want to do a job in other sectors, you have to maintain that power to write something. And a kind of rule that you have to write a piece every day before hitting the bed, before kind of saying good night. You have to say that, you have to see if you have written something, maybe something which has happened during the course of the day, something very, very that becomes therapeutic also at your personal level. But that will help you if you are maintaining a regular, rigorous and a creative writing pattern on a day-to-day basis. That will be most helpful to nurture your personal as well as your professional life. Friends, I mean, I cannot overstate, I cannot over explain the importance of this. So yes, when we are talking about social media manager, writing an author, copy editor, proofreader, translator, interpreter, this will come through only when you are disciplined, consistent, methodical, meticulous, and then you are very, very organized and regular about it. Yes, so I'll take you forward. And like when we are I talked about interpreter, and I think I will just touch upon about translator also. Translation has brought a big paradigm shift. And when you translate from one other language to another, through an English degree with foreign language, it is a big opportunity with grasp of language structure and effective communication skills. Interpreters work with spoken language, while translators work with written language. This is important in the sense that, like, if you are if you are reading Shakespeare, if you are reading any like any of the university books from Chaucer to Eliot, or any other language person, we study about, like, African writers also, Chinua Achebe, Gugi Wathiango, Wole Soyinka, a huge like we have V.S. Naipaul also, we have Tagore, we big authors who have given us a way of life. So this is something that we can translate that into diverse languages. For example, you can make that there are many texts, those are being translated from English to the regional languages. But I'm not saying that I'm not very convinced, I'm not very happy in the sense that not many regional texts are being translated to the world language. So we have to bring out our knowledge, our local indigenous knowledge, and bring that to the global platform, and claim our role as an intellectual force, as a society and civilization. This is important, and we will do that with the power of translation. So when you are nurturing a career after graduation, you should consider that you will give it back to the society and world at large through the world of translation, proofreading, copy editing, and other various other aspects that we are discussing. Yes, and I think like when we are talking about newer job scenarios, it is about public relations specialists. Different companies will have PR positions where you have you are supposed to deal with marketing, advertising, writing articles, projects, and PR specialists can be the one to shape the public image of the company. English degree can boost the entry-level PR specialist with the skills applicable to blog and social media writing. I hope you are writing when I am making a case, you can maintain a habit of writing blogs, and you can, with your distinct knowledge in publicizing, promotion, communication, and more, you can pair a bachelor degree with English in a in communication, like is a direct route and a higher salaried career. I like you can these days very important careers. If I tell you, my university has come up with like PG diploma in development communication. So you maybe with one through your degree, your majors in English or majors in language, you can combine it with some other professional orientation, and then you can build up a career. Yeah. So what I'm trying to share with you, I'm trying to connect you to talk about different diverse avenues, the possibilities, openings. And when we are talking about PR specialists, there are various other, like there are careers in BPOs where you have very attractive salary packages, and a graduate degree like these days. Like I tell you, some of our students left their degrees in between because the BPO's sector, they will offer them a job profile. But I think that it has come up and now it has grown much more. And you after completing your degree, you can BPOs, as you understand, that they work for like companies which are located at distant places, and for example in US and UK, and you need to have excellent communication skills as well as some, like the accent that they expect from that company's background. Like I have some of my students, they are serving in like Dell, Accenture, Tata Consultancy, and other various jobs where through their power of communication, through their understanding of language and expression. So this is important, and there are you can use that sense of there are many people who are saying that in the long run, these this a career in BPO is not the most suitable one. So you have to plan it like that how you will after like 5 to 10 years, how you will make it more dynamic, and how you will kind of switch to different positions where you can uh, serve yourself, serve the society much better, and where you can, as far as your professional growth is concerned, as far as your consistent professional growth is concerned, you can deal with that. We are talking about like publishing sector, newspapers, we are talking about different levels of skills. And I think that we have talked about translation, interpretation, we have talked about various other things, and I think that yes, this is I think our expert right in the beginning talked about this, and this, like a language person has this advantage that they can navigate through different disciplines. I talked about acting and theater. You can maybe like the legal sector has come up in a big way, so you can with your training in research, writing, and expensive vocabulary, you can sit alongside lawyers in their offices and courtrooms and legal departments, performing advanced life-affecting administrative works. And this job, like maybe you don't need a degree in law, but this orientation in language, and some legal knowledge, precision, and organization to file, edit, write, and work for a fast-paced law team, making it one of the best jobs for English major interested in entering the legal profession. So this is important, and I think so. All the possibilities are there. You are not supposed to give up on any account, and you have to keep exploring, you have to keep harnessing your potential, and then with a sustained, with a rigorous, disciplined approach, you can make inroads, and you will be able to achieve what you have always dreamt about, what you have always looked up to, and the sky is the limit. There is no end. Like there are many times I have seen people talking about many times I have many times I have heard about that there is too much of noise about unemployment, the lack of opportunities. I think that that is not the best way to complain about in today's time, where there are multiple sectors opening, there are newer job options. I tell you that there are in various situations that I face in various government reports I read, and various discussions that I attend. There are people are complaining that it is not exactly unemployment, it is basically unemployability. This is a problem, like in different sectors, like so I think we need to train ourselves even more. We need to identify our skills more, and with a rigorous, with consistent approach, with whatever we have learned, and we have to put that to the best use with our no, we have to hold the pen in such a way that we are bringing about a sense of positive change to our society, and we are not complacent, we are not complaining. Friends, when we are discussing it today, I'm basically to stand with you. I'm basically to link with you with a kind of influence that we will kind of do our best, and whatever knowledge, whatever skill sets we have acquired over a period of time, we will put that to best use. So we will try and create a space for ourselves in whatever positions that we have discussed, and even beyond. And if we will also become job creators. I think that is temperament wise, it is very important that we are not laid back. We are with a sense of initiative and entrepreneurship. We are saying that, okay, let me create a magazine, say, for my society, community work, like when everyone is complaining, when everyone is stuck inside homes, and we never know which way the corona pandemic will take us. So we can be the carriers of informations. We can propagate a cause. We can establish a more healthy connection with all our fellow citizens. So there is no end, and as students of literature, we need to get our imagination going. We need to reclaim that idea of envisioning something bigger and executing that to perfection. So that is important. I think that we can discuss some of the questions if you have something in your minds. I have tried to in the course of my discussion with you, I have tried to uh, connect to you with some of the options there, and basically, the idea that it basically happens in our minds. If we are strong, if we are active and dynamic in our heads, we will be able to create that space that we are. And you are guided by very capable, gifted, very sacrificing teachers. You connect to them, and if you relate, if you form subgroups where you exchange information, knowledge, and if you kind of peer group activity, like once we have done it, these days, after qualifying exams and scoring very good grades, it is okay. But then post qualification phase, you have to bring in, I think, a sense of synergy with your fellow students, and then you can act as a team. You can build up a stronger network and identify a role for yourself. I think I would stop here, Dr. Mahendran, and if there is something that we can discuss in terms of questions, we can do that.
So, sir, thank you very much. Your lecture is very, very informative. We received a very good feedbacks from the participants. These are displaying on screen. Okay, my dear participants, if you want to discuss anything with the resource persons, you can raise your hands and discuss. Unmute பண்ணி விடுங்க எல்லாத்தையும். Okay, dear participants, you can raise your query, and if you want to discuss anything with the resource person, the forum is open now. You can unmute your mic and speak. எதுவும் இல்லை போல இருக்கு. Yes.
Thank you very much, sir. That was a very nice talk. You have listed out a very nice range of opportunities that English literature students can have. I just wanted to ask you what kind of opportunities we could have if we were to pursue a path of writing. I mean, as a writer, as an author, rather.
Okay. PS, I can see your name there. PS Anil Kumar ji. I see that you are there through the whole duration, very thoughtfully you have, and I welcome your question. I think this question will help everyone, and this gives me an opportunity to expand a little bit more. Okay, so what is writing? Let's understand that writing is the kind of most rigorous employment of mind. One is that if you see something and you just put that into words, but in writing in its truest sense, it is a very multi-layered, very scientific, organized, multidisciplinary also activity where you bring out knowledge in its various diverse shapes. So when we are discussing it in the context of opportunities, employment opportunities, you see, the first thing is that comes to my mind is that of being a writer. No, and I tell you, if these days, modern day students talk about pay packages in a big way, like what do I what will I get if I become. I tell you, if just read about Vikram Seth, when Vikram Seth wrote about that suitable boy, and then there was a proposal of writing a kind of sequel to that, suitable girl. What kind of amount he was offered for writing that text? No, you can read it and you will find that inner satisfaction, and then the financial part, it is very satisfying. So writing gives you that platform, that foothold into into the knowledge world, and people will look at you as the authority. Okay, so if you write a poem, for example, you are basically influencing the human progress. You are basically creating a niche for yourself, and you are paving way for everyone. So writing means very important thing, and I cannot Anil Kumarji, like, when I cannot over kind of emphasize this importance. So do it just for the sake of writing, first of all. I mean, it is, I think, just like, some people say that, military training should be made compulsory. I feel sometimes that writing should be like, because it is a very, it helps us to reveal ourselves. Okay. So at a personal level, and then if you write good, if you write well, I tell you, people will recognize, if you communicate a well crafted, thoughtful sentence, even a sentence you write well, people will recognize you. You will have enormous, we have seen, if you want to become a public leader, for example, writing helps you there. You can connect to the conscience of people. You can, if you can capture their minds for a long time. So yes, you write for books, newspapers, magazines, and you start your, I think today we live in an age of entrepreneurship. You start your setup. You start one, like, a magazine. You start one blog. You start where you bring out something which has not been covered. And I think that uh, they say that it is very simple to be difficult, huh? No, they say it is very simple to be difficult, but it is very difficult to be simple. So when I'm saying that you have to write, I'm not saying you to write something complex. I'm saying that you write simple. Like, you read all our people, like, the people who have fought for our independence, what they were trying to do at that time. For example, Gandhi's Hind Swaraj, one sentence, you read very simple thing, and we like, even after 100 years, that word, that narrative holds significance today. So live with ordinary people, connect to their knowledge systems, and write. If I think I have talked about interpretation, translation, I have talked about writing your own narrative. So through the instrument of writing, through the ability of writing, you can influence a whole lot of areas, and there will be no dearth of money also. I mean, I'm not saying that you do it just for the sake of it. Money will kind of run, I mean, it will come after you, huh? So yes, Anil Kumarji, like, this is one thing I'm saying, that you write for yourself, and uh, immediately sometimes it takes longer. you know, if you write something, people will immediately will not understand you. It takes longer. So you learn to be patient. You learn, just like, you know, you allow, just like, you know, when we prepare something, we see, you know, we wait for some time and we allow everyone else to come to terms with that. Same writing is a test of patience also. Sometimes I think Dr. Mahendran will understand, like, you know, metaphysical poets, no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Metaphysical poets wrote something, and after 300 years, T.S. Eliot brought them from the cupboard. And
Yes.
then, with the idea of objective, correlative, and disassociation of sensibility, he brought. So once you write something, I know it may not get immediate kind of attention. You keep writing and develop a style of your own, and develop a kind of no, so that people, you know, get addicted to that also, in that sense, if I may call that. So keep writing and develop a style, develop a pattern, develop a uniqueness, and then everything else will follow.
Next participants. Next participant.
Excuse me, sir. Hello,
Yes, yes, yes. You can
Sir,
speak, sir.
it's a wonderful information. And could you help me that how to develop my writing skill effectively? I can't hear.
Sir,
Hello?
Parmud, please unmute your mic.
Yeah. So
Yes.
this is like asking, no, how can I learn swimming? No.
No, sir. I want effectively. I want to learn more and more because I think language of English is like
Yeah,
like an ocean.
please give me a chance, please.
Sir,
I'm not finding faults with you. I'm just saying
Yes,
that,
please.
you see, you can learn writing, no, with writing, enormous part of it. You know, you have to, like, you know, every time you are listening to me, for example, you know, I have
Yes.
seen many foreigner people, you know, they will never sit idle. They will have a pen and they will have a piece of paper, and then they'll keep scribbling, you know, even if, like, you know, you are you know, not saying something very significant. You understand? It
Yes.
is about taking notes. It is about, if a new word comes, you just latch onto it. You just play with that. You just explore the different side. Like, for example, there is a discipline of etymology. You know, what is the
Yes.
root of this word? What cultural system that does it belong to? You explore that side. So writing is not about like holding a pen and piece of paper. No, it is about uh, thinking about the core subject. Okay, your audience, like you're writing for, the specific side of knowledge that you want to bring out, and
Yes.
then it depends also on like what you are writing. Okay,
Yes.
so a critical writing will be different, and if kind of focused writing, for example, if you're writing for a newspaper article, if you're writing a blog for yourself, I often suggest that you keep writing and you keep blogging, and then wait for, and then look for people's, you know, responses there, huh?
Yes. Yes.
I also told you, I'll also gave you an exercise. No, I suggested you something, that you prepare a group, okay?
Yes.
About 5 to 6 people who don't laugh at you. Sometimes, you know, your friends don't take you seriously. So those who take you seriously, you know,
Yes.
you can share, you can read the other person's work, and you can give your work to the other person. And for half an hour, you can just, you know, listen to the remarks, observations from the other side. This kind of peer analysis is very important. No? So sometimes if I have exhausted myself writing a piece, you see, I cannot be the judge in my own case. No. So you
Yes.
can seek a testimony from someone else. Huh?
Yes. Yes. Of course.
So it is good. I think your role as a writer has started. once you are saying that, how do I know? Sometimes I would feel that, I'm the best writer of this world, So
Yes.
the day you are asking questions, sir, how can I become a writer? So it
Yes.
means
Best
that the journey has begun.
affluent writer.
Okay. Affluent means rich in terms of money.
Yeah. No. Just simply in whatever way you want to express, no. The
Yeah.
people will appreciate me. That's what
You have to write like these days. I tell you, this script writing will be open for more people now. It was like, I think we have not able to project Indian stories. Indian means
Yes.
like, we are the microcosm of the whole world.
Yes.
India is not one country. India is basically the whole world put together.
Yeah.
We are some dictated by the Western narratives. We are not, and this idea of a story being like, first like an ordinary person, moving up the hill and then achieving some success. That is not a story, no? Story, each person has a story,
Yes.
The idea of success is not like me becoming a very world renowned person. No, that is, each person evolves, negotiates with this world in a very unique way, and a writer should have the ability to capture that. Okay, even if a person does not become a big public authority, still he or she will contribute to the making of this world. Like, for example, there are so many unsung heroes, and we can bring their stories out. We can look a little deeper, and let okay, I mean, I think I can talk about this now, that who wins a Nobel Prize.
Yes.
You talked about affluent writer.
Yes.
Who wins a Nobel Prize? A person who writes 100 novels does not win a Nobel Prize.
Oh,
A person writing too much of everything does not get. A person gets a Nobel Prize in literature, in writing, once they flout the tradition.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Okay, once you break free from the older set of ideas,
Yes.
African writers, for example, Chinua Achebe, Tagore wrote on it, because in his Gitanjali he was talking about Indian cultural knowledge. You bring out your own self,
Oh,
you like,
wonderful, sir.
if some Indian texts get translated in 70 other languages. Why does it happen? Because they don't follow their Western counterparts. They don't follow any other masters. They bring out their own unique position, their own unique you can say knowledge base.
Wonderful, sir.
So we have to look deeper. We have to look within. We have to kind of identify the inner strength that belongs to us, and then explode into the world.
Wonderful, sir. So
And
wonderful.
I'm sure that there will be people who will win bigger recognitions of, who are attending this
Thank
program.
you so much, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Wonderful. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Any other participants? Okay. Time is close to 1 p.m. Let us conclude the webinar. I invite my research scholar, Mr. G. Muniraj, to propose vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, one and all gathered here. I hope you are all enjoyed the webinar our department organized for you today. This is my honor and privilege now to give a vote of thanks to all those who helped make this webinar happen. I would like to thank our resource person, Professor Parmud Kumar Mekra, Professor of English, Indira Gandhi National Open University, New Delhi, for attending this webinar busy schedule and delivering a special lecture on lecturing opportunity for English literature graduate. He was made this webinar very meaningful and interesting. We enjoy your session, sir. Thank you, sir. I would like to thank the respected Vice Chancellor and Professor Paulu Subramaniam, Chairperson, Faculty of Indian and Foreign Language, Tamil Nadu Open University, for their guidance and moral support. A special thanks to Dr. R. Mahendran, Assistant Professor of English, Tamil Nadu Open University, organizing the webinar for graduate students. I want to extend my generous thanks to teaching and non-teaching and research scholars for their support and cooperation. I would like to place my thanks to all the participators and all the people who are directly, indirectly helped to make this webinar successful. Once again, I thank one and all present here. Thank you. Let us rise for national anthem.
இது பண்ணுங்க, போடுங்க.
இல்ல போட்டலாம் அந்த ஒரு நிமிஷம் வந்துச்சு.
मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता, पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा, विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा, तव शुभ नामे जागे, तव शुभ आशीष मांगे, गाहे तव जय गाथा, जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता, जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
Okay, thank you, Professor Parmud Kumar and other participants. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Let us leave the meeting, sir.
Yes.
பண்ணிடலாமா?